Our next question comes from Dennis in the Florida territory. Jim, being the shy, quiet, reserved guy that you are, have you ever had any stage fright on TV?
Oh, God, especially the first time I was on it. I thought I'd burned all those fucking copies of the tape, but it still exists out there. I'm not going to tell you where to find it, but.
Now, you're not talking about your first interview when Lance Russell brought you out as building up to you being a manager. You're talking about when you presented Fargo with the award?
No, both.
Okay.
Both. Oh my God. I was so goddamn scared presenting Fargo with that award that I was ready to fucking just piss myself right there in front of the cameras. But yes, at least I had done it once, but the second time I'm actually coming out there to start a new career instead of just facilitate a fucking angle, which, by the way, when I presented that award, and it led to the big angle and the blah, blah, blah. And the only thing I knew was Dream Machine. Troy Graham told me when he found out I was going to be at TV that weekend and I was presenting an award. He said, "Oh, you're going to have some fun this weekend." I didn't know they were going to have these giant studio brawls and Dream was going to turn back all this other stuff because they didn't smart me up when I went. All I had to do was present the award to Jackie Fargo and stay out of the way. Pretty much. So that's an example of sometimes they didn't smarten up everybody who was involved in the segment on TV back in those days and wonder how we learned to adapt on the fly. When you don't know what the fuck's about to happen, you learn how to adapt on the fly.
What year, for the most part, did Jackie Fargo retire?
I mean, at one point, I think 1967. No, he decided he was going to be a country music singer with that Eddie Bond, and he owned part of the sign company that Lawler was working painting signs at as a teenager, and he was in the radio business because Eddie Bond owned radio stations, and he was going to retire, and then Jarrett talked him into coming back for the biggest run of his life in 68 or 69 or so. He was wrestling part-time at least for a while, then was full-time and Nick's highest paid guy through the early 70s. And probably by 75 or 76, he would go back and forth. And then when he stuck with Nick, he wrestled more often for the next couple of years. And then by 79, just started doing part-time stuff.
And what year did you present him with the Wrestler of the Decade award on TV?
I think it was 81. But he made a big impression.
Those 2 years, 1980 and 1981, he was huge.